please, Greg Kelly, don't get angry. We hate it when you're angry.
Their lies are catching up to them. Big time. You can
God. Their lies are catching up to them. It's about time.
only get away with this stuff for so long.
I mean, really, bro.
This fraud
Yeah, this
is coming to an end.
thank God, finally.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, this whole thing about eating broccoli, bullshit.
When Michelle Obama, the former First Lady, lies and exaggerates and distorts a history that we all know, when she does this, we see right through it. And even those who may have voted for her, who may even still like her.
Voted for her? She didn't run for office, asshole. She was the First Lady. Oh, you mean voted with their money by making her book a bestseller?
Are going to start saying, enough is enough.
Missed you too, Matt. I missed all you guys. So I even told Summer, like, I'm going to go long.
With you,
So
with
lame.
Biden, with your husband, and this whole Black Lives Matter scam.
It's a scam. Black Lives Mattering is a scattering of lies.
Now, Michelle was on one of the morning shows promoting
You mean one of the ones that actually has viewers?
yet another product. I think this is some cartoon show that she's got over there at Netflix. And, well, she went to the greatest hits.
Many of us still live in fear as we go to the grocery store or worry about walking our dog.
Look at this. Two black women talking about what it's like to be black. Tell them what it's really like, Greg Kelly.
Dogs, or allowing our children to get a license. I mean, just imagine.
Aren't your girls driving?
They're driving.
Yeah.
But every time they get in a car by themselves, I worry about what assumption is being made by somebody who doesn't know everything about them. The fact that they are good students and polite girls, but maybe they're playing their music a little loud. Maybe somebody sees the back of their head and makes an assumption. I, like so many parents of black kids, have to, that the innocent act of getting a license puts fear in our hearts.
Okay, obviously, what does she know as a black mom? Greg, please tell us how black parents really feel.
Would Malia and Sasha resist arrest?
Probably not.
Would they? Forget about the loud music. Do they know how to talk to police?
Yes, they do.
You've been surrounded by law enforcement now for 13, 14 years. The Secret Service, men with guns, some of them white men, have been protecting you. Malia and Sasha wouldn't know how to act. This woman, Michelle Obama, had a father, an intact family. He was a janitor. Did he tell her to be afraid of cops?
No, because it wasn't a choice back then, and she didn't have to. And they lived in an insulated area.
Cops are better now than they were in the 1960s, right?
Depends on where you are.
Back when she was born, when she was growing up in Chicago, cops are better now across the board. They are.
They're also, they have more firepower. Their guns are more powerful. A single shot from a service revolver now does the damage of 3 shots from a service revolver back then, unless they were carrying a big, dirty, hairy.
She got a scholarship to Princeton, a scholarship to Harvard.
Right, and after all that, it's still a possibility that her daughters could be in danger. Not even because of who they are, but who they're in the car with. Let's say they don't. Let's say they absolutely know how, but they're with somebody who doesn't, and they're in a car and they're hanging out with friends or whatever, and that person causes the situation to escalate unnecessarily, and they're the one that gets shot in the process. Let's say the dude they're with resists arrest, does everything wrong. Let's say the dude they're with has it coming. It's still a concern for their safety.
Law school, and she's still venting about systemic racism.
Yeah, it's that whole still being black thing.
They're doing this for a reason.
Okay, what's the reason?
And I'm actually going to use a white man to demonstrate it.
Uh-oh. Really? That's weird.
Bill de Blasio, mayor here in New York City, happens to have a black son. He's
right.
married to a black woman. Bill de Blasio used his son in a total scam. Said that since his son had to be afraid of cops, well, I had to have that special talk with him. They put a campaign video back when he was first running. It was amazing, and it went over a lot of people, but it was all a lie. But he kept at it. This line is about money and power.
There's something that sets me apart from all my colleagues running in this race, and that is for the last 21 years, I've been raising a black son in America. And I have had to have very, very serious talks with my son Dante about how to protect himself on the streets of our city and all over this country, including how to deal with the fact that he has to take special caution because there have been too many tragedies between our young men and our police.
Hold on. Did you notice how like they cut that part of it off?
The threat from police against young black men of color.
Yeah, too many tragedies have occurred. Did he say cops are out there slaughtering people? No. He's called them tragedies. And he's like, yeah, if the cops come and pull you up, you gotta keep your hands where they can see them. Don't reach for anything. Don't say there's something in the island or like I gotta get something. If they ask for something, give it to them the way they ask for it. That's a conversation anybody should have with their son. But specifically in New York, at the time he was raising him.
Is minuscule.
Yeah, but you don't want to be one of those.
Minuscule. We've showed you the statistics a million times.
Yeah, you've shown us the statistics
On this show. They are exaggerating, they are distorting, they are sensationalizing, and they're doing it for political gain. Now, after, by the way, he sold that nonsense, he went on to ruin New York City. I mean, literally ruin it.
Man, it's starting to look like New York again. That's a homeless guy on the train carrying his cans around. That guy makes money to live recycling.
Cops.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, this is the ambassador for the Green New Deal.
And community here in New York had a great relationship. When he came into office, the approval rating of the police department here was at about 75%, no matter what your race, no matter where you came from. And all of that is gone.
Well, what are you talking about? All of that is gone. That didn't have anything to do with de Blasio. People don't hate New York cops because of that. He didn't do what Giuliani did and make stop and frisk something again. What?
All right. Back to Michelle. What's next?
What? Yeah, jump around. Who's writing your monologues? Tucker Carlson?
All those Black Lives Matters kids, they'd rather not have to worry about this. They're taken to the streets because they have to. They're trying to have people understand that we're real folks. And the fear that many have of so many of us is irrational. And it's based on a history that is just, it's sad and it's dark. And it's time for us to move beyond that.
Uh-oh. Sad, dark history.
Look at her talk down America.
Well, if she was talking down America, we wouldn't be able to move beyond it. She's talking about how black people were treated in certain circumstances, and they're concerned about that and their belief over time. And it may even be a relatively new thing since the 60s, since the civil rights era, where as we've integrated society more, there's been a lot of overlap issues that have caused a lot of friction and danger, and it has cost lives, and that's just part of it, and it's caused a lot of good, but there's been a lot of bad with it, and you want to move on with the good stuff and stop doing the bad stuff. 80-20 rule, right? Look how pissed Greg Kelly is.
This is the country. White people made her first lady and her husband president twice.
Yeah, not you, though. You voted against them. You voted for Trump because he insisted for years that her husband wasn't even fucking born here.
2 terms.
Right. And you weren't one of them.
Again, she went to Princeton. Her husband went to Harvard.
Right. And they're rare in their community.
She went to Harvard.
Right. and they're rare in their community, and they're trying to make that circumstance less rare.
They have had a great life here.
Right. She's not talking about her. She's talking about the people who are marching in the Black Lives Matter protests, not the rioters, not looters, the people who are marching, people with signs out during the day.
In this country, they're now essentially suddenly telling us is systemically racist.
No. That it's had elements of its history that are racist and cause concern and damage over time. We want to get past it. She's even saying they don't want to be out there dealing with this. They wish they didn't have to fear this. And if you're insisting that they don't, then do an entire show about how they don't have anything to worry about and how you support the idea. Just say Black Lives Matter. Just do it. It doesn't mean you support the organization. You can be anti-fascist and think Antifa are a bunch of assholes. You can believe Black Lives Matter and march even for, the cause that to make it known that Black Lives Matter without being a member of the organization Black Lives Matter. And if that's your issue, then clarify that and support the good movement forward because you believe America is great enough to handle it. But you don't, and you're not. Jesus.
How dare she talk down all of us?
She's not talking down all of us. She's not talking down to me. I don't feel talked down to. I don't think this is diminishing my country at all. I think she's saying in a very hopeful way, this is not a permanent scar on America. This is not a permanent state in America. There's no reason it has to be. That everyone can succeed. Look at her husband. There are red states and blue states in the United States. He ran on that idea, you chump.
By the way, lots of people who voted for her husband twice did vote for Trump.
No, not lots. Some.
They did.
No, some.
And
a bunch of them were George W. Bush voters who didn't like McCain and decided, and were sick of and they crashed the economy and a lot of Republicans wouldn't vote for Sarah Palin because she had a 70% likability rating and a 20% electability rating in the Republican Party. And they're like, I'll vote for a black man and a white man faster than I'll vote for a woman of any color. Sarah Palin caused more votes lost in the presidential campaign by older voters in the Republican Party than any other person.
Stuff about they have to take to the streets these Black Lives Matter kids. Did they have to do this? Did they have to intimidate?
No, because that's not what we're talking about. She's not talking about them. That's a bunch of white kids. The fuck are you showing? There's a bunch of virtue signaling white kids. They're just being assholes to people.
Even people of color? No, this is not about anything rational. This is about sometimes fun. Yeah, it's fun to riot.
Is it? Tell me, Greg. I've never done it. I've always toyed with the idea, kind of like bungee jumping. I'm just afraid I won't do it right. You know what I mean? You don't want to go to your first riot and fuck it up.
It's fun to loot.
Is it? How fun? When were you looting? Hold on. Greg Kelly, do like this. I just want to see your eyes. Would you mind putting on a black hoodie and a ski mask? I need to hold your face up to a bunch of pictures the FBI has out from Portland.
Urban historians and sociologists have known this for a long time. There's
Urban historians and sociologists?
A classic book about all of this. The Unheavenly City, a big chapter in it. This is an academic book. It's considered a classic. Rioting, mainly for fun and profit.
Yeah, she's not talking about rioters, fuckhead.
Right. One more from Michelle.
Okay, one more. Here we go. Try harder. Yes, my iPad died.
We have
too.
to talk.
My iPad bricked during the trip there. I was using it for the chat, and so I had the Restream page open on it a bunch. I guess maybe that was partly what caused. I don't know what happened. It just died.
about it more, and we have to ask our fellow citizens to listen a bit more.
Right. Yeah, listen, do you hear that? That's the sound of rioting. Ask our fellow citizens to listen a bit more. Oh my God, I feel violated.
And to believe us.
That means basically people not of color.
That basically means white people have to listen to this bullshit. Now I've got to buy. She's basically forcing me to buy her book on tape. My sister, my daughter, my sister.
Shut up and listen.
Shut up and listen. No, I didn't say shut up. You can engage while listening. You can actually speak. I listen all the time and also speak. What the fuck is the fear in this? God damn it. What is the panic?
No, that is not going to happen.
What? Oh my God. Greg Kelly's not going to listen to what black people have to say about their experience? He's not just he's not listening. He's not, I mean, he doesn't even know what he's going to disagree with at this point. Yeah, that's the, I've had enough of this.
Now, you can fool
some of the people all the time, all the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
the left, you can fool liberal elites, you can fool Gayle King, apparently, who's eating all of this stuff up.
Well, she is also black, so they kind of were finishing each other's sentences because of their experience.
And decoding Michelle for us.
It's very rare for the two of them to issue a statement about anything. They try very much not to get involved in a political way to speak, certainly against any party. They're very, very careful about that.
Yes, Michelle Obama and Barack Obama are very, very emphatic about not getting involved in politics. Here's Michelle at the summer convention. It is what it is. Michelle Obama, right.
She at the DNC. She means about their personal, when they're talking about the Floyd case and other stuff.
Right. Very, very reluctant. But again, this stuff.
She's the first lady from the last Democratic president. Of course they showed up at the DNC, dickhead. Oh my God, this dude is pitiful.
That they're saying catches on with the left. Listen to this conversation that they had right after the interview.
I thought what she said was very interesting when she said, you know, a lot of kids they don't want to be out there marching. They got other things
Right
they like to do.
that,
Yeah, you know,
she's right about that.
it's like they're marching because they're fearful.
Right. Yeah, like, I mean, these people, they just rub elbows with everybody.
They're marching because they're fearful.
Right. Yes.
They're marching because they're fearful.
Yes, they're marching because they're fearful.
I actually met that guy a couple of times. He's not crazy. But look, why is he saying this stuff? Literally, so he can stay on the good side of Gayle King.
So this dude's on the bad side? Never sit on Gayle King's left. I mean, she'll reach for something, pen right in the eyeball. Greg, I think you do this show because you're fearful. This show is Greg Kelly's White Lives Matter march.
They're marching because they have to. They're marching because they have. Did they do this because they have to?
No. Fuck does that have to do with what you're talking about? Why aren't you showing the people who are marching over there? Instead of the people who are basically waiting for the sun to go down to riot, who aren't participating in the march.
You see?
What would I do? I would laugh.
They're marching because they have to.
Kelly's show is a hit in his own mind.
They're marching because they have to. They have to steal
It sounds like he's swearing. They're marching because they have to.
people's food and get in their face and intimidate innocent people. They have to. All right, enough of that.
Yeah, excuse me, Mr. Minuscule. Mr. It's minuscule. It's a minuscule threat. Why is it? How come you're not showing the giant crowd of people and only showing the weird little offshoot people who are assholes? If the vast majority of people are staying in the street, marching with a permit, playing music, talking, walking, mixing, but the woman who comes over to the side there, who may or may not even be with the thing, or may not even be supportive of the thing, for that matter, ultimately, why show that? All right, never mind.
One more comment from the post-Michelle interview that I thought was interesting.
The post-Michelle interview?
This.
Oh, you mean the three of them talking?
You got to question your assumptions. I mean, if you're working in law enforcement, if you're that person behind somebody in a vehicle, you've got to ask yourself, is my first idea here my best idea about what's going on?
Hear that, everybody in law enforcement? Some guy named Tony, who works at Channel 2 here in New York, CBS, says you got to question your first assumption. All right. Well, let's...
Yeah. Maybe you're just coming off the last roll and your adrenaline's up, and then you're paranoid about the next person you're going to meet because you've seen so much awful that day. That's a possibility. And that person might be on the receiving end of your distrust and your worry.
Man of experience, I'm sure, to say something like that, to tell law enforcement what they should do.
He's not telling them what they should do. He's telling them maybe they should make sure that they're not making assumptions when they approach the next person that they engage with.
See here, he started writing at a place called Wayback Info in 2004. He worked there for a couple years. Then he went to the Daily Beast. Oh, those guys, senior writer there. Random House. He wrote a book called The Last Pirate. I don't think that was about law enforcement. Went to NBC News for a couple of years. And
Is this Greg Kelly reads Wikipedia?
he wrote there, and then they let him be on TV at MSNBC. So he must have picked up something about law enforcement over the years because he spoke with such confidence, and we actually gave him a uniform. So we'll call him Officer Tony from now on around here. And yeah, who are these people?
That's it? That's it, Greg? That's your big baboom? Somebody in the control room made that for you, and they're like, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Where did they get this confidence? Huh? He's going to tell law enforcement how to think.
He's not telling them how to think. He's saying maybe they should consider whether or not the way their perspective on this next drop, it might be informed by other things instead of the person right in front of them. He's not telling them what they should do, which, by the way, keep your head on swivel and make sure that you're dealing with the person in front of you, not the last person. Because, by the way, you can approach a traffic stop because you've had three others that day and you're just kind of like normal, not really being on your guard, and somebody could pull a gun and shoot you in the chest when you walk up to the window. You have to be aware at every stop.
Don't trust your first impressions, cops.
Yeah, don't. Like, I should be safe pulling over this. Here, wait, hold on. Let's see. I don't know if I'll be able to find it in this short order of time. See if I can find. Well, here you go. I'm just gonna hold on. Whoop. I'm gonna turn the audio off on this. Let's see. In this situation, there's a woman. He was leading her out of the car. She reaches over and fires backwards at the cop with a gun. They had two other people, and then this woman who was in the car one of the guys had a gun, and it was in the middle island. She pulls it and starts shooting, and everybody else, and they end up shooting her dead. and she ends up, she almost kills not just the cop, but the other two guys that were in the car with her. Now, what you're seeing there is them, the wobble of the camera is them, is the gun itself wobbling. And this was one of those, this is a traffic stop that was going on for like 10 minutes. Everybody was cool. No big deal. And these guys were already out of the car, standing in the back. She was sitting in the driver's seat. They're like, yeah, you can't have somebody sitting in the driver's seat. She might take off in the car. They'd been talking to these guys. Nobody pulled, nothing. And then she wouldn't get out of the car, so they went over to take her out of the car. She reached into the island, got this dude's gun, and fired at the cop out the door. She'd been sitting there for 10 minutes. They'd been talking. They'd had multiple conversations with this woman. It wasn't her gun. It was his gun. This dude right here. She fired. Oh, thank you. Hold on. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Cosmic Rose. Thank you. Hold on. This one came through and I missed it. Hold on. Clear. Think. Bless you. It hasn't. I don't think it's come through. So thank you, Cosmic Rose. They were talking to these three people for 10 minutes. Hopefully cops can learn from this video. This is what all these are like. Thank you, Susan. Be well. Greg Kelly's an asshole. And he's a clown. And one of the things that, as a cop, you might want to do is approach everything as if it's definitely a safety issue, but you don't have to be aggressive with everybody.
Back to Michelle.
I don't trust police officers anymore, guys. Well, that's wrong.
She's been protected by Secret Service now again for a dozen or so years.
Yeah, but Secret Service agents take an oath to protect the Constitution and have reached such a high level that is he going to show Reagan getting shot? What is he doing? Or is this Obama walking out of a building and they're just going to show the people that are around them? Those guys are at such a high level that they pass like multiple oath checks and that kind of stuff. They're in the system for a long time. Local deputy cops and people who just join the force for a couple of years, those guys get busted doing horrible shit all the time. They get kicked off of forces quite a bit. That doesn't happen with the Secret Service. I guess, the two biggest scandals from the Secret Service currently running right now are the fact that one of them was sleeping with Don Jr.'s ex, and allegedly one was sleeping with Tiffany Trump.
Protected everywhere she goes, even post-presidency.
Right, because lunatic fans of yours think she's a baby-eating man.
She gets a great big entourage, and her husband,
they earned it.
Of course. You know, they made a documentary, and half of the documentary was them flaunting this status. They actually seemed to love it.
What are you flaunting the status? I think it's just that you're jealous as fuck, Greg. A lot of people look like they're flaunting what they've got when you're jealous.
And Michelle really likes having these guys around. Men.
Yeah, for safety's sake.
With guns.
Uh-huh.
Law enforcement.
Yeah, because they get death threats all the time, lunatic.
She's even fascinated by the guns. Listen to this. This is from her film. She got many millions of dollars for this. It's called Becoming Michelle.
What was that little tongue jut when you said many millions of dollars? This is jealousy. This is what we're watching here. This is amazing.
Michelle, listen.
Everything okay, Alan?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God, how dare she talk to him by his first name?
One day I gotta sit and see how the sausage is made.
Like all the pre-stuff that goes into it, I'm just not a part of.
Them going anywhere, all the like prep that they have to do to go check out in a place ahead of time, make sure it's safe, cover it so that nothing happens to them. Because even for the Greg Kellys of the world who don't give a shit about the Obamas, if one of them is murdered, it affects every aspect of American life, both on a security level and then, of course, like the stock market takes a shit. We have to lock down ports. There's a manhunt that will go on. There's tons of stuff that goes into it. Why you proactively protect your former presidents and their family to some degree. But this is all really about like imagine being Greg Kelly and how jealous he is of these two.
You know, I always ask questions. Like, I always want to know where the guns are. Because what if somebody really was trying to take me out? They'd take these two out first. I could get us to safety, Alan. You guys, I got you covered. I'm always thinking.
What does any normal person think when they've got armed guards for the first time in their life?
Where the guns are?
Yes, where the guns are. It's a Shel Silverstein book. It's one of my favorites.
It must be sweet.
Oh, thank you, Suzanne. Thank you so much.
To have security paid for by the government.
No, by the taxpayers. Because we don't want the first black president and his wife murdered by lunatics that watch your POS show.
For you and your entire family. And wherever you go, you're safe.
Right. Because their safety affects the rest of us.
That's good for you, Michelle. But the rest of us, we have to rely on the police. All communities. All communities.
And?
White, black.
Right. And those people who are marching Black Lives Matter would rather just be able to rely on the police and not live in fear of them in certain circumstances, and also feel like they have the other elements, that the speed bumps in life ahead of them that should not be there because they are not of their own making. That's the concern. You could spend your time trying to get rid of those speed bumps, and then anybody who hangs on to them after they're gone, you can call an asshole. You're welcome to do that. But pretending they don't exist and saying that people who do have that experience don't know what the fuck they're talking about, Greg, not a good look.
Probably black communities more than any other community in this country. And we care about them, apparently more than you do.
Tell him, Greg. Yeah, hold on. Guys, Greg got us on that one. Whew. Tell him, Greg. This is... You're as serious as your haircut. Matter! Black Lives Matter! Okay, now you're just making your audience shit themselves. Black Lives Matter! Black lives do matter. Black Lives Matter!
Black lives do matter. And that's why I am so incensed that Michelle and her husband are not aggressively pushing a more positive message. How about complying with police? Don't.
A positive message? He became the president of the fucking country. They both went to university. You guys bitched when she tried to get people to eat broccoli. The fuck?
Resist. Live to see your day in court. I have to do it on this channel, Newsmax. I'm proud to do it, but it should be everywhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess your demographic doesn't really worry about it too much.
It should be ubiquitous. And black lives do matter.
Well, good for you.
Apparently for them, for the Obamas, and for the far left, black lives only matter when the life is black and it's taken by a white cop. Well, that doesn't happen very often, actually.
All right, let's go with it.
Doesn't, comparatively speaking. This is happening all the time, though. Children being killed, children of color, by other young people, often children of color. One of them, DeVell.
Right, but no one pays, none of their tax dollars go to cause or support or finance those murders, nor do they go to support the legal protection, other than, I guess, public defenders, of the people who commit those crimes. They're not acting on our behalf. There's a distinction. The black on black crime story that this guy is trying to mix together with police shootings of unarmed black subjects and suspects, and even white ones, by the way. I think last year, I want to say it was 19 whites, 9 black people. It might have gone up, but 14 to 20 something. So basically double as many whites killed, that were not, quote, armed at the time. Many of them because they had just dropped it or what have you. That's a long story. Each one of them is a specific case. But by comparison to the people who are shot every year, as far as a one-to-one murder, mixing these two situations when they're wholly different and have wholly different solutions, by the way. Because when you talk about what he's talking about right now, this is where all the right-wingers go with this stuff, is that black people are killing black people all the time, and people only care when the cops kill a black person and when that cop is white. That's the basic premise of nobody cares. Black lives only matter when in this, right? The difference is that as the public, our actions only create the circumstance when it's someone acting on our behalf in terms of being a cop. When it comes to like black kids shooting black kids, which is what he just said, there are two areas where we are trying to work towards a solution to fixing that. One of the biggest ones is the dumping of guns on the street, because gun manufacturers, gun salespeople, and strawman salesmen and people in the gun industry have a thumb on the scale of against gun regulations and against stopping straw purchases and ghost guns and all that kind of shit, because that dumping guns on the street and allowing them to be used in constant violence all the time is what scares the rest of the community into buying legal guns. The biggest PR campaign for people purchasing legal guns and stockpiling ammunition and all that shit is the idea that there's all this crime on the streets and you got to be ready. Well, they're financing and supporting that by dumping all these guns on the street. If we had regulations that could stem that tide, that could gather up those guns and destroy them, and then limit the amount of, get as many guns dumped on the street in straw purchases and the like, and stop criminals from having access to so many goddamn guns, what would eventually, you'd have safer communities and a safer environment and all those things, but it would also diminish safety sales, which is part of the other thing going. So the dumping of guns and the wanton disregard for gun sales is one of the things that drives more people to buy legit guns, and it's basically a marketing campaign. And that's what leaves these guns all over the place.
Guard.
Address unprosecuted murders, please. Details of murders, minutia, cumulative. Which part of it, John?
22 months old. Look at these pictures. He was shot and killed at a cookout a year ago.
Yeah. By junk guns on the street. Bought by straw purchases. Sold out of the trunk of a car. Bought in stacks because of gun show loopholes and the like. Driven across state lines, from states that have lax gun rules to states that don't, that have tightened it up. The guns that end up on the streets of Chicago are all sold and bought and sold in Indiana and Missouri, where they don't give a goddamn.
Now we bring this up because just this week there has been an arrest. Now, there was a horrible gunfight where this happened here in New York City in July of last year. Shots flying all over the neighborhood. DeVell, his family, they were gathered outside on the sidewalk, and the little boy was killed. We have a 25-year-old in custody at this point. His name is...
At Newsmax headquarters?
...is Deshaun Austin.
So are you sitting on him? Are you using Deshaun Austin as a stool, Greg? We have one in custody? Who's we?
There's his stroller.
Deshaun's?
Mr. Austin, finally in custody after all this time, is the suspect. He was a member of something called the Hooli Gang.
Right. They just busted a shit ton of these dudes. They're all gang members. They all traffic in guns. They use it to establish territory. The guns they have are illegal. The whole, like, if you criminalize guns, only criminals will have guns. We're not trying to criminalize guns, dickhead. We're trying to stop the raw dumping of guns on the street. One of the things that these assholes always, we're trying to just make sure that people register their guns. And they keep track of them. Also, if somebody's making a bunch of straw man purchases and they're just like buying them and selling them for double to gang members where they end up stacking a bunch of guns, you're like, this dude's got 35 guns that he's bought at different shows, but he only has 5 in his house. Where the fuck are the rest? They're in the hands of people like this. Gang members. Felons who want to kill their ex-girlfriend but can't buy a gun because they're a felon. They get them from dudes who buy them at gun shows and make straw purchases, buy them at gun shops and then walk out in the parking lot and sell them for twice as much money. That's why you need a law that says if you purchase a gun and it's used in the crime, unless you've reported it stolen, you're on the hook for part of it. That would be part of that well-regulated part.
And the hoolies have been, well, out of control here in New York City.
Well, this is in control because they just did a major bust and they busted all these dudes.
But Black Lives Matter doesn't really talk about any of this, do they?
Because that's not their prerogative. That's not what they're there for. They're for the state-sanctioned killing. They're to make sure there are no state-sanctioned killings so that when people are in trouble with the guys like the hoolies, they can trust going to the cops. You see?
They're only focused when the cops are involved and when that cop is white.
Yeah, but they don't pay these guys salary.
And you know who doesn't like this at all? DeVel's grandmother.
And they talk about Black Lives Matter. How is mattering? I don't see the point.
By the way, there's a big pushback in a bunch of these communities online that, they've seen videos a lot like hers, where their problem with Black Lives Matter is the organization, not the people marching, holding up signs that say Black Lives Matter. Because Black Lives Matter, the organization, has been like flying people in to be like professional marchers and activists, and then they leave right afterwards, and they take they get a lot of donations when they do that, and they take them out of the community instead of them going to the victim's family or the defense fund or any of the other stuff that those folks need, or for medical bills, what have you. And that's been a big complaint about Black Lives Matter, the organization, in a bunch of cities. So the people who've actually lost family members or have had family members who are in the hospital who are shot up or something, were hoping that the march would lead to them getting either some financial support or help during that time, and the money leaves town. And they get mad at Black Lives Matter, the organization, not at just people marching with a sign that says Black Lives Matter. Just for the record. There's a bunch, I've seen a ton of these kind of videos.
Like, shooting is still going on. People are still, doing crazy things out here.
DeVel, your life does matter. Your life did matter. And it's too bad that we will continue to lose children if this country doesn't get serious about some fundamental issues.
What issues are those? Ghost guns, junk guns, straw purchases, gun regulations? Because that's what solves these murders, asshole. That's what solves that's what slows the number of like guns on the street, wrapping those things up and making sure more of them don't fall. Because, by the way, every time something like this happens, that gun a lot of times is either gone or passed around.
And we be finally, fully, and completely honest with each other.
About what? About junk guns?
I'll be right back.
No, you won't. I'm done with you. This flailing bullshit about the violence in the black community and the guns between gangs, when civilians get killed, when children get killed, all that stuff is really important and needs to be dealt with. And it is a big part of why there needs to be gun regulations, why you need more gun regulations, gun safety. And you need to keep track of guns when they're sold. And so when people remove the barrels or scratch off the serial number, those kind of things, any of that stuff, that's meaningful. That's a meaningful change that will help save those children in the future. That's what stops felons from getting guns. This has nothing to do with I think the reason why the Greg Kellys of the world can't understand why, that's the stuff we're trying to stop when they say they're coming for your guns. We're not coming for anybody's guns unless they have them illegally, or they purchased them illegally, or they sold them illegally. And again, this goes with like what Matt Gaetz was talking about. Like these people have guns so that they can, in case the tyrannical government yeah, but you don't get to hide your fucking guns. And the tyrannical government, again, used to be like understood to be the British and then possibly the Russians. And it was, if it was a, Red Dawn kind of a situation, not that you're going to go up to the fucking Capitol on the 6th and open fire next year. We do this. Yeah, we do need another kitten, I think. Yeah, can we get another kitten? Yeah. Yay! We'll have one last kitten to kind of yeah.
Who do you want?
I don't know. It's up to you. Chef's choice. One of the reasons why there's a lot of focus when it comes to gun regulation. A lot of times it falls around the AR-15. Oh, hi. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, no, I don't know. She might be a little jumpy, but we'll see. Here you go, baby. Hi, kiddo. This is a good kitty. Hi, Molly. This is Molly, by the way. This is the one we rescued from the old house. Hi, beautiful. She's our feral that we kept from the other house. She's a very nervous little kitty, but there's a reason. This is her tail. Her tail came off. She's beautiful. She's like a snowball. You're just such a good kitty. Here you go. No. And I'm going to be covered in fur by the time this is over. Yeah. Hi. Are you sweetheart? Are you sweet baby? So a lot of you guys remember us talking about Molly when we took her in, and she got half her tail amputated. I know. Huh? I know the hair is coming off like crazy right now. I know. I'm sure it's good. Yeah. You're a good kitty. All right. If you pet her long enough, she'll start purring, and then she starts drooling. Here you go. Want to hop down? Ding. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Ha! Good God. The hair. Look at this. Not a hair. You can't see it on the green screen. Like, if I put it right in front of it, like, just, there's, like, huge puffs of it everywhere. Yeah. She's going to bring one of the kittens, too. That was Molly. Molly got her tail amputated because she needed combing. Yes, always. Kelly won't take a Newsmax camera crew to anyone black and speak that way. Well, V. Gabriel, quite frankly, there are a lot of YouTube channels that that address the issue of black on black crime and the fact that Black Lives Matter doesn't pay any attention to it and thinks that's sort of a gotcha, and that's their raison d'etre. That's what they talk about all the time, is that this doesn't matter to Black lives. Black lives only matter when a cop kills somebody. And again, I think that goes to the fact that the rest of the time, that's life and handled somewhere. Oh, thank you. Listen to the best of on CPT. Thanks, Enrique. And, I will leave that. And not all of those hosts, by the way, are white. A vast majority of them are black. There's AK Nation. There's Gothics. There's a bunch of like black YouTube hosts who do really well, by the way, or got a pretty big reach. And that's one of the things that they talk about that sticks with them about Black Lives Matter. And my argument would be that Black Lives Matter is specifically about the law enforcement aspect of things. It doesn't pertain to, because you could say that, like, you know, when the White Lives Matter crowd, like, White Lives Matter, like, all right, well, apparently it doesn't when you're talking about the opioid epidemic. Obviously, you don't give a fuck about the cancer rates in Mississippi and Appalachia from coal mining and chemical plants, right? Aw, hi, Cherry, hi. Cherry's a wonderkin. Cherry, so there are two. Hi, hello, little one. Here you are. How are you? This is Cherry. Hello, little one. What are you doing? You okay? Yeah, you're purring like a motor. Yeah. Hi. Yeah. So, yeah, super cute. Yeah. Hello, sweetheart. Oh, hold on. Can't crawl that way. You'll jump down. I know you want to jump on the fan. That's right. You can't do that. Hello. Do you want to see people? Hold on. They want to see your face. Hello, ghost cat. The green screen, it takes out some of the yellow in her fur. Aw, here you go. Yeah, hi. Do you hear that? Can you guys hear that? Yes. You're such a sweetie. You're such a sweetie. They all love the fan. It's so funny. Yeah. You heard it? Okay, good. That tickles. You want to play with the string on the fan. Yeah. Right. Well, I'll sign off with the kitten, and we'll talk about these heavier topics tomorrow. What do you think? Because I stayed on extra long tonight because I missed you guys, and it's almost 8 o'clock. So I'll let you guys, and we'll just sign off with the kitty and say bye, Cherry. Bye, everybody. Say bye, Cherry. See you later. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye.